Sensing John Welsh is here at 7:02. Please stand for pledge of allegiance. In order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What's up?
There's a fire down the street. Yeah, down the school street.
Oh,
Right across from my old office, that house.
right
It's up in the hill.
you shouldn't have practicing. They're tearing that down. I think they put apartments there.
Maybe that's what they're
The
doing. They
the
got
firemen,
everybody.
yeah, the fire, they were doing something there, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they're doing some drills in that house.
It was smoking.
It's artificial smoke though, over there, it was, it wasn't a real fire. There was something I saw last week.
Well, it sure smells good.
Turns out they're-
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being in touch.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you, Dave.
we've called the meeting to order. 1A, additions to the agenda. Any additions to the agenda? Seeing none. Item 1B, comments from visitors regarding agenda items. I don't see any visitors. Go to chairperson's report. 2024 committee assignments. I just passed them down. I think Lisa's got it. A copy. Anyone else need a copy? John's passing them down. Thank you, board members, for getting in touch with me and telling me what committees you had an interest in. Looking at the committees, hopefully the negotiations committee won't have any issues this year unless we have a contractual issue. We have all our negotiations intact. Okay. The other thing I have under my chairperson's report, we had a Board of Finance meeting last week. It was Zoomed last Tuesday. Missy presented the budget drivers to the Board of Finance and told them about our upcoming budget. Last week, we met with Selectwoman Wimpheimer. We met with her business manager, a couple other people. They were talking to us about some items that they'd like to look at us for next year. The board ought to talk about it. I know we talked about it in our budget meeting last week about the resource officer and the building manager that we have in the system and the costs involved. Also, Thursday, I participated in the CREC Council orientation. Our executive board is a member of the CREC Council orientation. They did inform me, which I expected, even though 3 of us are involved with the CREC, we, as a town, we only get 1 vote, and I would think we would expect that. So they did do a they did a council orientation, so that was last week. Got a lot of things going on. 11 o'clock this morning, I had a CABE chair check-in. We do that on a monthly basis, and board chairs from around the state get together. And it was interesting, in Nick's presentation, he was talking about the reading program. There were a lot of issues, especially from big districts today, complaining about not getting their waivers for reading program and what the reading program will cost them. But I think we have one in place that we've been using in the past. Is that true?
No, we actually purchased one of the...
That's right, we purchased
Yes,
one.
because we were in the market anyway for a foundational program to utilize.
Okay, so fortunately for us, it's not a problem, but I know that was a big issue. And they also talk about advocating for boards. Everyone knows this is going to be a difficult budget year across the state with all the federal money being evaporated and after going through everything we had with inflation. So it's going to be difficult throughout the year. So working on advocating for boards' budgets and CABE legislation priorities. Nick talked about the legislators. They make laws, they make mandates, and they give us no funding. They give us no time. And that's become a real issue for Board of Eds. And let's see what else. That's the end of my report.
One for policy,
Something
I forgot
else?
to send you an email. I thought I was on, maybe I just inherited it, but I'd still like to be on policy.
Were you on it before?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and
Okay.
I think Ricky's on in
I
my
might have
stead.
just-
I think you replaced me.
I don't know when.
I don't
it
have
was
Ricky on
at some
policy
point.
from last year, 2023. Got John,
Kinda just
Lisa,
floated in there
Amanda,
somehow.
Robert Loomis, and Lynn Landolina.
But I wasn't participating.
But you want to participate?
Yeah,
And
I'm a little.
Okay, Rick, you want to be on that? Ricky, then you want to be on policy?
The term want
I'm sorry.
and the term I'm yes, I'll be on policy.
Okay, let's add Ricky Bortz to that, not a problem.
Well, let's replace John Welsh with Ricky Lawrence.
Okay,
Whoa,
take John
that's
Welsh off.
part of the deal.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense because we really don't want a quorum when we have a committee.
Yeah, I was gonna make a
So-
comment,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
creating a
okay, yeah,
quorum by
fine,
doing
yeah.
it.
I mean,
Okay.
John, if you really want it.
No, thank you.
Is there any other one, John, you'd like to go on to, or?
No,
keep it
the
the way it is?
negotiations will be tough this year, so I'm
Like to say, okay.
focusing on the negotiations.
Okay,
So
good.
Mark and I could, really be prepared for anything that we might have to contend with.
I hope there's nothing this year.
I hope so too.
May I just add to your talk about budget? We do have a budget meeting next Wednesday at 5. If you wouldn't mind just letting Lisa know if you will be in attendance in the next day or so. This way I can make sure I have an area that's sufficient for.
It's next Wednesday at 5?
It's this Wednesday.
Oh,
I had this Wednesday.
It's this Wednesday.
Oh,
Time flies. I have 124.
No,
Can't believe we're already at
This week,
124.
yeah, I know. I posted.
What time is
My
that?
apologies.
5 PM.
This Wednesday, 124.
Will there be a Google Meet or a Zoom possibility potentially?
I could. It's going to be a little more challenging with the conversation, but
Okay.
certainly I can
I will see if I might be able to rearrange
do my best.
time thing.
is
Where
that
are we
gonna be in
meeting?
your office?
That's why it'll depend on how many people are attending. In my office, it's easier because I can put some things up on the screen.
Or can you go grab a xylophone and?
You can do that too.
Okay, so tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I'm sorry, Wednesday, that's
Wednesday.
okay, that's Wednesday. Today's Monday.
It is.
Unfortunately.
124.
Okay. Yeah, I
You
could
have the
go,
next one
Lisa.
scheduled tentatively as well?
No, I don't, Ricky. I was going to look at the calendar tomorrow.
Do you want us to let you know now? We're planning on being there?
If you know, great, sure.
I think, I'm trying to be there, yes.
Okay.
And I could
Thank
be,
you.
I could be there.
If you're not sure, you can let Lisa know in the next day.
And hopefully,
Wednesday, the 24th.
hopefully Mark's at the meeting tomorrow, then we'll have me, Mark, and Whitney, and then we could look to schedule facilities as well. So we'll do that on Wednesday.
You're talking,
Are you gonna make it Wednesday? Okay, yeah, then we're gonna look to schedule facilities at the end of budget.
Remember, we work backwards with the budget, so we look to see when the Board of Finance has the expectation of our presentation, and then we work backwards so that we have enough time to do board approval of the, or board support of the budget moving forward. Or the itemized estimate moving forward.
I like that better.
I'll just add something interesting about that from my CABE chair check-in today. I was actually surprised to hear the number of districts, they actually have a Board of Ed rep on PTOs and PTAs. I thought we really stayed out of those areas, but I was surprised to hear the activity the
Yeah,
Board of
that's
Eds
strange.
have with it. It's the first time I heard it, and a number of districts do that. And they
An
were,
actual rep, not just someone who's,
oh, yeah, they were saying, and then they were upset if somebody didn't appear at one of their meetings, and some of these big districts, yeah.
Wow.
I was just surprised by that.
We kind of have a de facto one, right?
But they don't discuss at all board issues or school issues. Our PTO does a good job. They're out raising money for kids,
Right.
for programs at school. And I don't think we're looking to change that. That's why I thought it caught me funny when I saw what they do. I'm not sure if I think it's a great idea, but
I mean, what is their function?
to interact with them, give information, I guess, at PTO board meetings. Those groups are big groups when it comes time to budget. I'm sure that's what they're trying to do, is massage them to get them out to vote and support the budget, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate to do it that way. I think the PTOs and PTAs, function pretty well without us getting involved. But just thought that was interesting.
yeah,
I think came out of today's meeting.
I don't know what the function of the board member would be, and, at what point is the board member sort
Yeah.
of speaking,
I was surprised at how common it was when I heard it
as part
today.
of that sort of thing.
most of them were quite big, affluent districts, I guess I would describe it, where they had the board reps. Okay, let's get back to Missy, number 3, superintendent's report. NESDEC.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. First item under my report is NESDEC, not to be confused with NEASC. NEASC is the accreditation organization for our high school. NESDEC is the New England School Development Council, which is the organization that does our projection and our enrollment numbers. Essentially, I can make this pretty brief. Looking at current school year through the next 10 years, I would consider us pretty static by this report. We range from 844 to 856. A couple years where we go up a few, couple years we go down a few. There's no significant increases or decreases kind of within those 10 years. We did have a little bit of an anomaly this year, and that was with our expected incoming kindergarten. And we have always been very close to the number projected by NESDEC. There was more of a differential this year with our incoming kindergarten. Not expecting to be a trend, just a kind of a one-year anomaly. We also are lower this year with our open choice children. I think we're about 8 children less this year than we were last year. That is due to a couple reasons, one being transportation from Hartford. A few of our families were struggling with the transportation and the busing in. Others were, we had seats open and we didn't have a family elect for the seats that we had open. So we are definitely lower this year than we have been in the past.
What was the kindergarten number?
The kindergarten number, I
Yeah. The
think it's about 14
okay.
difference.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, okay. So 73 prior, and then 59 this year.
Right, we did not get the 70 that was projected.
I get it, 73 projected versus
Yes.
59.
And I'm talking with some other superintendents,
So
that was
I'm
actually
sorry.
pretty common this year with a few other districts with the kindergarten,
Yeah, and then the other one was the choice,
open choice.
not having as many participate.
Correct. And I think you can, if you'd like to see where that chart is, that's
Yeah,
on.
that's the one that I focused on first. The 813 number just seems kind of scary.
Page 10, you can see the open choice
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
Yep. On page 10 where it says K-12 choice in,
Yeah.
if you look the last 5 years.
So if I'm looking forward, I guess I'm on page 4 there. And just looking forward into the school year. The number stays somewhere in the teens.
Oh, tell me what you're looking at, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm on page 4, I'm looking at K-12. The number is 813 for the current year. I'm assuming that's
Yes.
total enrollment, so the number stays in the teens and the 20s. Under NESDEC's projection,
Sure, and then if you look at the PK through 12, which is the last column,
right? That's incorporating the pre-K,
that's about another 30 children that we
right?
have in our pre-K program.
Okay. So the number is gonna plus or minus 6 on 850. Yep, okay. And if, again, they're just going off of birth rates and
Children already enrolled in
and
district.
actual enrollment.
That is true.
Projecting that people that are enrolled will continue to be.
Correct.
Okay.
And what also is interesting that I always look at when I get this report is on page 10, the top where it's building permits, because that gives us an idea of possible, changes. So, because you can't predict, building, you can't predict, house sales. But I do keep an eye on the building permits that are issued,
Right.
For future planning.
And need to keep an eye on that.
I do.
Yeah.
That was a statement, I do.
Yes, no, and I was just Affirming.
important, emphasizing it, absolutely.
Absolutely.
The other piece that I thought was actually pretty interesting, if you look on page 9, it shows you the dark green. The dark green is the births. And then if you move 5 years later, the light green shows you the level of, the number of children that actually enrolled. So from 2011, you see this, where we have far more children enrolling into the district that were born, meaning they were moved, that we had families move in.
Which page?
Page 9.
All right.
And birth to kindergarten relationship, is that it?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a different page.
That's not the same page as it is digitally.
It's gonna look like that.
Oh, here we go.
Birth to kindergarten relationship.
Right.
Okay,
The birth-
11 online.
The birth
Okay.
being in blue
Got
and the
it, got
enrollment.
it. It was
So-
digitally.
So what's interesting about this that I found, the last two markers, okay, you see them that they're very close together. So basically, the number of children born pretty much matches the number of children enrolled, where we've always had more enrolled, which I'm thinking that might be part of the reason for the lower enrollment. Because if you're projecting, like the demographers are projecting and they see this trend over many years that we have, 12 more children enrolled than are born in that given year, well, this year was off. We almost had a very even number. Now, I'm not a demographer, but that's just what I draw from this grid.
It seems like the birth rate is starting to go up again, where we had a decline before, years ago.
Right.
I don't know if you've paid attention to the news, but there's actually projections where the U.S. Population is going to decline by the 2080.
I'm sorry, it's going to what?
People are having less kids.
Yes.
So
Well,
birth rates are gonna-
that's true, and that shows in lots of districts, but it doesn't show here.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at page 11, the last, second to last page, it gives you the trends, across the country, actually.
Just looking at the years and birth rates and moving into districts too, I bet there's a correlation to be made with the real estate market as well.
Sure. Yep, I would agree. Okay, any questions on this enrollment, projected enrollment report?
So historically, on the lengthy runs we've had of the 850s, 840s, and knowing that we're looking at a few years lower, have we decreased? Do we still have the same staff? And is it so sporadic that we can't really adjust? Because we had the discussion the last time about opening, that we don't really open kindergarten seats. In some of the lower grades, it's harder because it's kind of up in the air.
You're talking about for open choice.
Yeah, so if we maintain the same staff numbers, but we have, or is it maybe just one class in a high school, one class in a middle school, where it's not, you're not seeing like large gaps where it makes sense to kind of move around a little bit? Because if it's only one grade in a building, it makes it difficult.
Correct. Correct. And then the children, span from kindergarten
Yeah.
through grade 12. I mean, typically when there's, if there's like a bubble, a teacher, we might go to 3, we might have 4 sections in one grade, and then that number of children that moves up, the 4 sections goes up, and then we go back to 3. So is that type of shifting that does happen.
Yeah, so we're, with the numbers that we're down, it's almost like an entire section, but if it's spread out that it's only 2 kids per grade, it doesn't help much.
Correct.
So what's the dispersion of, I was kind of looking at the grade levels and seeing if anything sticks out, but
Well, I was looking at over the next 3 years with the middle school decreasing 16 students. I mean, I know right now the class of 2028 is a bit of a small blip in there, but do we have that flexibility with teacher assignment and section size within the middle school? Or
Yeah, I plan to delve into that in more detail on Wednesday.
got it.
okay.
because all of the points you bring up are excellent points. You have one team with one content teacher in each, grade level. So thank you for those questions. Okay, item 3B is simply just to inform you that the Board of Finance has requested a document from the Board of Education. The technical term is the PA 1360. Essentially, it is the non-educational costs to run our district. So Mary is in the process of putting that together, and we will present it to the board prior to providing it to the Board of Finance. So that takes into account things like electricity and, water, all of what they call non-educational costs, which is when Nick was showing that, I wasn't sure if that's what he was referring to.
And that's an annual request that they ask those things from us.
All right, 3C, draft audit report from DAS, which is the Department of Administrative Services. That's the organization that oversees our school projects. As you may or may not know, we had a roof project done for the middle school and the high school. And we received the draft audit, and I needed to sign off on it, but prior to doing so, I did request that this be shared at the last school board school town building committee, since they oversaw the project. So we did have a meeting last week. The project manager, Roger LaFleur, was there. The committee was there. Agreed that the audit was correct, so I did sign off on it and sent that through. Essentially, the purpose of the audit is to ensure that the state funds that were associated with the construction project were expended in accordance with the statutes, regulations, and the requirements. So essentially, there's some reimbursable costs and non-reimbursable. So the audit shows that we spent the funds in the way that we stated we would be, and to make sure that anything that wasn't reimbursable wasn't going to get reimbursed. So in the end, and I will just kind of draw this, I think this is important. We were reimbursed at 40.71%, but due to our open choice seats, we get a bonus, and that was about an additional 8% on the reimbursement. So we actually reimbursed 48.73%. So at this point in time, the estimated balance that the town will receive back is $332,000, just under $333,000. Which is definitely, I think, more than was expected.
And that goes to the town though, right?
That does go to the town. So that's good news that's has that final box just about checked on there.
Is that earmarked for Board of Ed budget, or is it just to the town?
The general
That should be
fund.
determined, yeah, it goes in the general fund, but Missy, we may be letting them know they weren't expecting that money right now, and maybe some of it could come towards us later.
The roof project, 100% came out of the Board of Ed budget back then?
It was
Well,
capital
capital.
and
It was
bond.
capital,
Okay.
but it was all out from us.
That's what the rebate's based on, right?
Mhm.
Actually, it wasn't capital. It was a bonding project. I take
Bonding-
that back. I
bonding
apologize. I
project.
misspoke.
Bonding,
Yes.
Bonded project.
Okay, any questions on that audit? Very good. That's my report.
Okay, thank you. Item 4, recommended actions, approve CSDE Child Nutrition Program. CSDE stands for Connecticut State Department of Education. I don't know why we need the S. I think we learned that Connecticut's a state, but that's what it stands for. Now, authorized signature, this is part of our milk program that we annually do. Missy?
Sure, so
Hold
essentially,
on, want me to get a motion first?
I haven't actually wrote a motion,
Oh,
if somebody wants to
okay.
read a motion.
Go ahead.
So to read this word for word, what a motion is? a motion. And a motion is to remove Raymond Engel as an authorized signer for the claim reimbursement for the CSDE Child Nutrition Program and giving authorization to the business manager, Mary Heine.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? It's pretty clear what it is, just we have business manager changes. Changing names.
Yes, you need two signers that, for the milk reimbursement. Hannah Stack is one of them, our business manager is the second, so with Ray retiring, we need to add Mary to it.
Okay.
Did you get an official nickname or moniker of Milk Lady or anything like that?
If you like, that's fine.
Any other good questions or comments?
Good.
Okay, seeing none, I'll call to a vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 5, agenda items for future meetings. Accept PA 1360 non-educational services. B, indoor air quality IAQ inspection. I would like to add C, we still haven't resolved the bus transportation issue, the concern we had with the parent. That's going to have to go to the policy meeting.
I believe that
Policy
was
committee?
added to
It's
the
on the
agenda
agenda
for
for
the
policy.
the next policy.
Okay, so it'll come up for an agenda item for us, I would imagine, future meetings, unless we can just deal with it from the policy committee? Does it not have to come to the board then? You want to bring it to the board? Or what do you think? I don't know if we'll make any changes or not.
I think you want to put it on the agenda,
I think-
and that way the policy committee can at least report to
Yeah,
that they looked into the matter.
and I think for next meeting,
And
we should have it on the
and either
agenda.
are proposing something to the board or not proposing something to the board. I think it should be on there.
Yeah.
just-
When is the next policy meeting? You may have it, Mark.
Yeah, I thought I sent an invite for everyone.
So I'll just call it school bus policy. Is that okay? We don't have to be any more definitive than that.
Transportation.
Or transportation, yes, transportation policy.
Oh, wait, no, February 5th.
February, yeah, but we're in the February.
February
policy,
5th,
yeah.
5 PM.
Board meets on the
Yeah.
12th.
Oh, we could be able to do that then. We're doing the 5th before the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay, any other agenda items for future meetings?
Can we get an update on while we're on the bus
Yeah.
topic, on the tracking? Zonar?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Zonar.
Zonar.
Oh,
And I'm gonna leave off another one until we meet with facilities and then
okay.
next time.
Hey, anyone else? Okay, item 6, comments from visitors. Seeing none, motion for adjournment. Whitney, is that
Go
a
ahead.
motion
Go
for adjournment?
Yeah.
There we go. We have a second from Lisa.
No, we're
Any
here.
discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried unanimously.
2 for 2
Meeting
on-
adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful.
That's pretty good. I didn't break a record tonight, though.